Hey, Randy Hunter here from BeginningSax.com. In this Beginning Sax Quick Licks and Tips video, I want to go over kind of the basics of articulation. Now, I know I've got several other videos that deal with articulation on the saxophone. In my Stage 1 Jazz Improvisation lesson series, I have a lesson series called Time, Tongue, and Technique, which is a little bit more advanced. Also in my Beginning Saxophone lesson series, available at beginningsax.com. I cover articulation pretty thoroughly, and I even have a jazz articulation video in my Jazz Sax Quick Licks and Tips series. So if you're a little more advanced, you might want to check that one out. This is really pretty much for beginners. Now, articulation, like you may be aware, is the art of tonguing. That's how you pronounce your notes, is with the articulation. Now, you might want to make note that there are a number of different kinds of articulation syllables that we use, or different ways of articulating the reed. Just like when we speak, there are a number of consonant syllables that we use to pronounce words with. Kas, tas, bas, etc. So on saxophone, we've got all kinds of do's, das, dots, even some throat tongues, all kinds of other articulation techniques that you'll learn eventually. So there you hear I'm using a couple of different types of articulation as I play some of those jazz lines. But what we're looking to achieve today is just the basic da articulation that you'll use to pronounce most of your notes with at first. Now, you may have teachers that tell you to use tas, das, whatever. Always go with what your teachers suggest, but I like to use the das syllable because we can create sounds that are fluid that don't stop the air. If you think about it, if you say the syllable ta, 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 you're stopping the air to make that ta sound. You can say da, 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 and you can keep the air and the sound moving over the top of the tongue. Da, 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 da. There you hear I'm articulating the instrument, blowing air through the instrument without even creating the tone. Now, when I create the tone with the da articulation, there you hear I get a very fluid sound. Now, you can practice the da articulation without even having the horn in your mouth. You can just say da, 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 da. Now, what's important is that you do this in front of a mirror, keep your jaw stable, and don't let your throat move. Da, 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 da. So you see there's no movement going on. The only thing that's moving is my tongue. One thing I like to tell students is, all of our lives we use our tongue and our jaw together. When we talk, we're using our tongue and our jaw. When we eat food, we're using our tongue and our jaw. Eat to chew and swallow the food. When we chew gum, tongue and jaw are moving together. But when we play the saxophone, the only thing we want moving is the tongue. And most specifically, the front part, or towards the tip of the tongue. Now remember, I said we're not doing the tas with the tip, we're using the da, which actually strikes a little bit farther back on the tongue, but we don't want to use the part of the tongue that's in the throat. The tongue's long, it runs way back into the throat, and what happens if you use the entire tongue? You see my throat moving back in there. So you might stand in front of a mirror and work at isolating just the tip of the tongue so that you're not getting all this motion. Because if you tongue like that when you play, it'll sound like you hear the excessively heavy tongue, you hear the notes going don, 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 don. We don't want that. That doesn't sound very pleasant at all. Just the tip of the tongue. So that is a little coordination thing that takes some people a little bit of time to get used to. But again, if you stand in front of the mirror and practice the ta, 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 with and without the instrument, watch your throat. You'll learn to isolate just the tip of the tongue. And it's really pretty light and easy movement. It's really pretty relaxed once you get used to it. Now, like you hear me doing, one of the things you can do is practice tonguing a series of tones. I'm doing G on the tenor sax. You can do G on alto, whatever. Tenor, alto, it makes no difference. I'm playing a series of Gs. Using just the tip of the tongue with a da stroke and keeping everything relaxed in the throat. And I'm playing the series of Gs. Next I'll play a series of As. B's. Keeping everything relaxed and having no movement in the throat. Now I could go right on up the instrument all the way up to the top of my range, and then once you're used to doing that, maybe try playing G, A, B, C, D from the G scale. And you hear I'm playing a very fluid sound. I'm keeping the ear moving through the tones, and I'm using the da articulation as I play. Okay, and then later on you can learn about other types of tongues, staccatos, marcatos, all kinds of different accents, etc. But right now, I think the most important thing for starting is just learning to get a good fluid da tongue and keeping the air moving through there so that you got the throat relaxed, the tongue, everything's relaxed, and you're getting that nice fluid sound. Okay, so take that to the practice room and chew on that for a while. And also be sure to check out my beginning saxophone lesson series at www.beginningsax.com. I've got a whole complete lesson series, 10 lessons, and following that I've got a series of jazz improvisation lessons. So I'd love to have you study with me. Okay, have fun.